Yo, it's your boy Pomo, Godspeed TV, Godspeed Nation with hoodx.com. Sign up if you ain't signed up, hoodx.com. It's a new series I'm doing called Godspeed TV. We're going to try to engage with our viewers and stuff, subscribers. You know, me and Kabbalah. Sign up for I saw my Christian page. Today we're going to talk about Gematria, and I'm going to try to give y'all the most basic breakdown on how to use Gematria, and it's a website that you can use for Gematria, and it's much more than just typing in numbers and getting numbers and mathematical equations and looking up the numbers. Gematria was like protected, before the Jews didn't bring it out, because it was like a secret. You had to be 40, at least 40, over 40 to study Gematria, and they say your life, the judgment begins at 40. Like I said, you're gonna go up or down, all your past actions. But now when they expose Gematria, or the Kabbalah, as they call it, and expose it means brought it to the world where everybody can use it. They wasn't really too much worried about you typing in numbers, birth dates, and things like that. Like 214 represents this 1716. That's just the baby view. But the real secret is it's like a Rubik's cube. Gematria is like a computer that you can make any type of way you want, and it's only beholden to the mind. It's only as strong as the mind. It's only as powerful as the mind that uses it. What I mean by that, like the protection of it, because if you're spiritual and if you know how to read it, you wouldn't do scandalous, bogus things with it. You wouldn't misuse it. So that's the protection. The mind has to be, let's say, Jesus said you got to be as innocent as a child to get into heaven. So in order to really, really get down with Gematria like I do, most people don't know about, is you got to have an imagination. You got to be semi-spiritual if you're not. And you got to know how to read the zodiac. And I always say the zodiac because that's the first gateway to seeing the unseen scene, or the many in one. That's the first thing to see, patterns. You know what I'm saying? And Gematria is really a reading of the matrix, basically on how to read the matrix. And when you put in words, instead of putting in numbers or worry about the number all the time, read the word next to it. See, the sun might be like 1140, but look and see what 1140 representing words, and that's the matrix. And everything, like if I put my name in it, everything that comes under my name is tied into my DNA, the place I'm in, the matrix, the life I could live, is living, is future, past, present possibilities. And if it say something bad, don't take it personal. It's just, that's the possibility. That's innate in your DNA. You know what I'm saying? Like an example, like it might say called Poe a weed head. Or it might say Poe, and that might be in my DNA, that if I keep going across in my life, in my DNA, there's a way to activate the weed gene, you know what I'm saying? Or it's strong in me, just for a nutshell. And the way I'm going to explain Gematria to you in a nutshell, it's like, well, quickly, it's like, imagine the source. It's like that light. And you are the case over the source. So everybody got the source, the light. And the way they show letters on the screen is the white light flash through a case, and the case is shaped and molded into a shape. So once the light, the source, shine through the case, which is you, it projects an image on the wall. That's what you represent. So if it say S, that's S. So in a nutshell, Gematria is what's in between the light and the shape, and you can shape yourself. Like I said, that's why many in Egypt, they name themselves, and they call, reincarnations while still living, or a god of many names. Instead, we're going to put in King Von, just to give you an example. And I'm going to show you all the energy dynamics that goes into King Von and his DNA and the way he was made, or what his destiny was. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to correlate. And then in time, we're going to do personal readings with it. So it's like almost a different type of zodiac tool, because like I said, the wind case or the case, like so if you got S, and we associate S with scandalous stuff, so what they'll do is mold your case into a S. So when the one source, which is in all of us, produced through that case, you'll come out S, and S will represent hip hop, black, rap game. And what they're doing now is molding our cases for us instead of us molding our own letter. So You might be able, you coming from the light, the source, you coming through a case, and what they do, the Jews or the media or the forces that be, the Illuminati or all that, they are constructing the way your expression is going to hit the wall, which is the earth or the world, just like the zodiac. What time you come in, what day you come in, what month you come in. That's like the case. And then by the time you hit the earth, your expression to the world is a light that shine on the wall. That's how it goes. So you just say you got a light and you got many cases flipping around this light to produce an expression. And each one of them stop T, then it go around I, then it go around S. You know what I'm saying? T is the season to Christmas, you know what I'm saying? But TIS, you know what I'm saying? So whatever TIS represent on the wall in your mind, whatever it means, you say T is, okay, then you know what T is mean. You know what I'm saying? You know what that represents. That's you. But what they have done is made it for you instead of you making it yourself. And what Gematria is going to do is show you the matrix. You know what I'm saying? Every energy that goes into these words, instead of worried about the number, put a phrase in, put your name in. And like if you put a phrase from yourself at work, Gematria will show you everything that goes into that phrase, that time, the energy, the weather, the pattern, all of that will go into that. And it'll show you everything around. If you can read it right with the imagination or the supreme God body or spirituality, you'll be able to see it. But I'm going to show you. I'm going to give you an example. We're going to do King Von today in Gematria. We're going to do King Von. But first, I'm going to play some of it for you. So, and then, hold on, let me explain though. Now, this is something I think the Jews use. The Jews use before they hire people. The Jews people use before they hire you. They know before they rap, before you become a rapper, before they sign you. This had to be knowing who had Tupac when his first name was Husan saying Crooks. That meant something else in Gematria. That meant who he was as a basic man. Then he named himself Tupac. Then they typed in Tupac, and that meant King, son of David, stuff like that. So they didn't like that part. They want to keep him as Hussein Parish Crooks. You understand what I'm saying? And so forth. You know what I'm saying? So they know, like, say, if I want to sign you, what the Jews will do or the Illuminati will do is put your name in Gematria or through the Kabbalah and see your potential and see what seed. If you the seed of David, they don't really want to mess with you because you be doing that King Von shit, going back to the hood, giving back. That's how they knew they had to get rid of him because he had the lineage of David in his name. And we gotta be careful what we name people because name holds the, like I say, the case or the energy dynamic. And when I say your name, whatever it means, that's what you respond to. So be careful what you naming people now. You know what I'm saying? But they can type your name in, just like people be thinking spiritual, or you look like somebody after me. How they know? All they do is type your name in. This Smith, you know what I'm saying? Good plan. Here we go. You know, before they call me all day, you know. But anyway, they type your name in, and they can kind of tell your DNA. They can, it's like reading the DNA. They can tell if you're gonna be this, if you're gonna be that. And in your DNA, it's a good and it's a bad. It's just whatever the matrix pull out of you. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna do King Von, but I'm gonna let the rabbi explain while we smoke, and we can take it from there. Let me see if I get this right. Get it right or get it wrong. Okay, we're gonna start here. I think y'all should be able to hear that.
We all know that language and therefore words carry power.
You're talking about Demantry.
We just see that from the fact that
then you put the numbers in,
the communication of our feelings to one
another. I'm gonna share the link to Gematria.
From the earliest childhood, formative years, communication of love. Also, unfortunately, the communication of anger. So words carry power. They carry our expression. They carry our intentions. They carry our personality, our passion, our emotions, and so on. And words are made up of letters. And very often, though we use this tool at our disposal all the time, it's called communicating, speaking, crying, singing, all the different forms of expression of words, whether it's through speaking or also through writing.
Moving day means you're in for a big transition.
CubeSmart
makes self-storage as easy as possible. Online.
You know how they do. Anyway, that was a commercial. I ain't never seen no commercial on this one.
So we don't often pay attention to the exact science
about
lies behind
Gematria.
these words. So in truth is the discussion of numerology, or the Hebrew word Gematria, which comes from a Greek Gematria, which is geometry. Essentially, it's the study of numbers. But Gematria particularly refers to the power and the energy that lies in the numbers that correspond to each letter, which I shall soon explain. But I think it's important to first discuss what letters and words are in general. As I said, though we use words all the time, as I'm doing right now, and we use them hopefully for good purposes, but we also sometimes use them for not good, for unhealthy purposes, destructive ones. We have to realize that words are energy. Words are energy. As a matter of fact, the word for words in Hebrew, which is a milah, is made up of oisis. Words are made up of letters. Every word is made up of letters. And the word ois in Hebrew comes from the word asa boiker. And the morning has arrived, has risen. The dawn has risen. The morning has arrived.
He's explaining Gematria
so,
or the Kabbalah.
Actual an arrival.
You know what they sign you, how they sign you.
It's a transmission of energy.
How they kill you.
So though a letter on its own is hollow, you just have an A, a B, a C, a D. But if you combine the letters, let's say you combine the letter G-O-O-D, it takes on a whole different meaning, more than the sum of the parts.
The expression.
Because each of the letters has its particular energy, and combining them creates a new energy, a new synergy, you can say, which conveys the feelings that are conveyed when you say the word good. Now, it's important also to point out that... All
right, let's pause right there. We don't let him get away with too much. Now, what he's saying now, you say God, there's an expression of feeling associated with God because of how you talk and how the words are given to us. And when you add G, there's an expression. Then when you add O, there's another expression. Then when you add D, there's another expression. And combine them, it come up with another total expression. So like I said, we're going to do King Von, and I'm going to put his whole name in there. And with these names, every time you add a word to it, it adds on to that expression. You see what I'm saying? Like I said, you got to have an imagination. You got to be semi-spiritual, and you got to kind of know the zodiac so you can see Gematria. You know, if you just sleep, it just look like a bunch of gibberish. And the protection mechanism is the fact that you sleep, so you cannot decipher it. Because if you can decipher it, you wouldn't do nothing to harm people, because you can really manipulate people with the Gematria. You know what I'm saying? You can peer into their souls. I'm talking about real talk. Y'all gonna understand. But the protection mechanism, you got to be a spiritual sister, a brother, God body on the righteous path and have intent. And it won't just look like words. You will understand. I'm going to continue on.
That I'm going to be speaking primarily about Hebrew language, because that's where Gematria really plays a tremendous role. And one of the reasons for that is because, according to the Jewish mysticism, the Hebrew language is actually the original of all languages. There are books that describe how all languages evolved and originated from its original Hebrew. That's why you have Aleph, Bet, A, B, and you have the equivalent in not only Latin languages, also in other languages, that it all originates from Hebrew. And Hebrew is considered to be the pure language, the language of metaphor, the language that the divine used to create existence.
Now, in saying that, language is mathematics. Mathematics is the language of God. Each one of us had a particular code. That's why I say everybody's different. Each one of us have a different code that's particular to ourselves. So when you put yourself into a computer, which is a digital processor, aka meaning mathematic processor, you're putting yourself, when you put in Gematria, you're putting yourself into the computer. And what it's going to do is process a digital code back to you that's everything made up of you. Like this picture. This picture is going to code into this computer if I take it a certain way. And you can't duplicate it, because you got to be me to duplicate that mathematic code or the mathematic sequences, 1001, 10021, like that. So in that, it's a small code that goes out to a bigger code that goes out to bigger numbers, and then you have a bigger picture, what they call pixel. But what Gematria is going to do is break it all the way down to its basic entity of who you are. So people don't know about copy and pasting URLs and put it in there. Them digital numbers, you can take a picture of yourself, copy and paste the address, put it in there, and it's going to tell you where you was at. It's going to say certain things, like it's going to say New York, like this hat. It'll say White Sox game in Gematria. And you wouldn't know that I'm sitting there under a White Sox hat. But if I'm asleep, I'm like, White Sox game. But if I'm woke, I look back, oh, White Sox hat. And then it'll say sunlight to the shine over the shoulder, the sun beam over the shoulder. And you know, in the pale blue moon, you know, it's like a riddle. And you like, okay, what does that mean? That means this light right here beaming over my shoulder. Yeah, let me. So that's why I say you could put anything in there. I usually put phrases. Or like if somebody texts me, I'm on my way, I'll drop it in there, see where they at. I see the trees over here, liquor store. I see something, you know, it'll tell me they're not nowhere near around me. So see, you don't even know about putting phrases in, because in each phrase, each time, each type, this is the matrix. It's the time you typed it, from the time you was born to the day you typed it, to the time of the weather, you're already encoded to do these things in the matrix. So what it do is break down that day, that time, that sequence. Look around and see where you at when you typed it, what you was feeling, how you was feeling, what caused the feelings, and everything you see in Gematria. Don't look at the numbers. Like my code is 200. I look at the words, and the next to 200, they say facts. They say, now it said head dragon. Now it say dragon. Now it say head dragon. I don't know what that means. That means, I think iceberg combined with Poe, because head dragon is the head dragon. You know, Godzilla in this bitch, you know what I'm saying? But the lizard is the lower self. If you go to so what it's telling me, the head dragon will represent, I have mastered the lower self. So I am the head dragon. I am Victor Corvinus. Ain't no motherfucking prey here, because I am the predator. But like I was saying, let me let him talk a little bit though. Let him. Anybody got any questions?
The
let
language,
me know.
The letters,
my phone keep ringing. That ain't got nothing to do with the show. That's Smith.
A different dimension, because what they are doing is actually conveying the power that lies, the power of creation, the power of the force of creation that lies within each thing that's named by a certain word or combination of words, which is.
Remember, like I say, stop worrying about the focusing on the numbers. You'll get lost in all the numbers. 200 equal Poe, 200 equal Independence Day, 200. No, do that later. Look at the words next to the numbers. Like I said, that's what you do. Put phrases in there. Put your name in there. Put your husband name, wife name in there. Put y'all together. And I guarantee you, if you're spiritual, you'll see a story. The Kabbalah will tell you a story. You know what I'm saying? If it say he got child abuse, it'll say something about that. If it says she had child abuse, it'll say some abuse. And then it'll say a little riddle, and you be like, whoa. And then, you know, it might even say, like in mine, it say Alfonso. That's my nigga. How I put Pomo and it say Alfonso. So in this time, how it's no Pomo messing with Alfonso interaction. Everything goes into this, because this is the matrix. I'm going to tell you what I put in King Von. I put King Von in, it said child of Biden. Go to child of Biden, O block. What do you got? Well, just say government, Section 8. So what do you do? A child of Biden mean he's a government Section 8 child. He was a child, you know, a government child. You know what I'm saying? Came up through the system, in and out the system. Biden's little baby. That's what it say under King Von, a creation of Biden, Democrat. And we already know Biden fighting for the soul of America. So there you got. I ain't making this shit up. If you type in King Von and Gematria, it's gonna say Biden's little baby, a creation, Biden's creation. Y'all don't know what these politicians do behind closed doors. Y'all think they just be stealing oil. Iceberg road ran through the suburbs.
Say, for example, when we ask for a full shlema, for a blessing for health for someone who's been ill, we look for their mother's their name and their Hebrew name and their mother's Hebrew name. Why Hebrew name? Because the Hebrew name is seen as the name that.
Let me pause. Remember, I told y'all this is how they hire you. This is a Jewish rabbi. What do he say? We look for their name, their mother maiden name, their Hebrew name. He look for, what do you mean? Look for your name. Where he looking for your name at? He type your name in Gematria. And then he, by him knowing it, studying it, and looking at it from a reverse polarity point, he know the Kabbalah, he know all that by heart. So imagine he looking at your name, he can tell you as just if it's the zodiac, or they call spiritual reading. He can tell you what the hell going on. He can tell, he can, oh yeah, y'all gonna, this not gonna be good. All I see is fire. And like, what that mean? I mean, fire, there's too much fire. Y'all need some water, So this is what I'm telling y'all. This is how you get a job. So shit, make up a name, put it in Gematria. If it's good, then you put that bitch on there. This is how they hire you too. This all that, especially for them big jobs.
The channels, the soul's power.
A&I jobs and shit. You got to be a goofy. You got to be a son of Cain if you want, to be in the music industry to run it. To be A&I, to like, you got to be like Birdman.
That's an introduction to understand the significance of Gematria within those letters. So to sum up, let's put it this way. Think of letters. Think of it this way. We use an analogy.
You're breaking down the
Gematria. Projector that's projecting white a plain white light on a screen.
My bad, Joe.
So you see nothing. All you see is white light. Now imagine you take a film which has carved out images. In this case, let's say carved out letters. Not carved out, a film with letters in it, and then you put that in front of the projector. What will happen?
TV.
The letters will now be projected letters of light. So if you have carved out letters, as I said, G-O-O-D, or we'll use a Hebrew word, Baruch, which is a very classic word, which means to bless.
How they shape you?
Beis, Reish, Vav, Chaf. It's 4 Hebrew letters. So you'll...
Each letter case is how they produce you. Each letter case is what we look like now. Designer clothes, skinny jeans, niggas killing with Air Force Ones on. You know, you out looking like you going to a club doing slides. I thought we all just put on black, white, something comfortable, tear your pants up tight, make sure your shoes tight, running shoes and a hoodie, and we up. What's up with all this? Shit. I'm talking about it. I don't even know what to call it. Like Gucci, like how you got a Gucci belt on, tight ass, skinny jean, sagging, and you got a Glock in your hand, running out chasing a nigga with dreads, with a scarf around your shit. But see, this is what they produce. This is the win case. These are the spells. These are the words. These are the music. These are the cases they are producing. So if you ever want to know the spell, how it look, the letter on the wall, you start with me, go like the dress like that, like look like that, like we go down the line. So they have created how your expression, who you are. You know what I'm saying? How you get down. They have created that. That's not you. You didn't create. They create that. You know what I'm saying? And we already know how they do that. Get a motherfucker, the most famous person put this on, everybody wearing them. I am not finna wear no little basketball fucking shorts outside like Lil Baby had on. Lil Baby, like they trying to do with the new fashion with the shorts, the Will Chamberlain shorts. Hell fucking no. Hell no. I don't know, iceberg. I can't do no shit like that. I dress like an old rich white man before I go put on some Will Chamberlain shirts and some Air Force Ones with some socks. I mean, they trying different stuff. I didn't know we was gonna wear them tight ass pants. And then I didn't know it was gonna be a conflict because if your pants tight, that mean they fit. How the fuck is they sagging? So I didn't know they came up with some low rider tights. Joe, they creating us. The win case, the case. I don't want to say win, but the case. The source is always there in everybody, but the case. Just like I put my hand on here, boom. You see that like that. See that? See how I'm doing that? I mean, see, right? Like, see how I do that? See that you. I'm finna change you. I'm finna change you again. I'm finna change you again. I'm finna change you again. You see that? But the source is right there. You need to connect to that. You stuck right here. And they just study doing this to you. Skinny jeans, baggy jeans, bow tie, Timbs with skinny jeans, sagging, put my front part of my shirt in and leave the back out. It's always conflicting. Pull my pants up and down in the back, put the front up. It's just, now this shit just getting conflicting now because they got jokes. They're like, how you gonna make a motherfucker pants sagging and tight? Man, I'm gonna let him finish talking. I got jokes in this motherfucker, but I'll let my man finish talking.
You'll see those letters of light projected onto the screen. Now, what's actually happened here? What's happened here is that the white light is just plain seamless and shapeless energy without shape and form. And the film, or if they're cut out letters like we used to use in school and so on, then the film and those cut out letters will so-called channel the energy, the white light, onto the screen, and therefore you'll have now letters of light. This is how we see names and we see words in general. They're essentially channeling energy. As I said at the outset, when someone speaks to you, and I'm trying to stay away from superficial talk and gossip and nonsense. Let's talk about something significant. Someone shares with you important words. The words I love you, or the words I care about you, or other words that we use to communicate with our hearts and with our minds to others. So those words are particular sentiments, but they carry a white energy. They carry the white, shapeless energy, but they're being shaped by the letters that we use, which is why words have so much impact and so much potency. Because the words we use is not just a passion. Now, obviously, if you say words and you don't say them with the soul, you don't say them with the heart, you don't say them in a way you care, then it's like words that, as I said, hollow words. But if you combine both together, you combine the passion and the energy of a feeling, the sentiment that comes with the energy. You say it with gusto. You say it with a passion. Then that passion, like the white light, is channeled through the letters, and in turn you have an expression that will convey a feeling, sometimes a very strong feeling, an intense feeling. So good communication, as you see, will be not just choosing the right words, but also choosing the right inflections and emphasis that the speaker uses in communicating. Now, when you write, you don't quite have the same power of communicating passion. So that's why good writers know how to use the right words.
Okay, we're gonna pause right there. I gotta go take care of something. We'll do a part 2 when I come back. We're gonna pick right up where we left off at. But first, I want to show y'all. I'm gonna put in King Von, and I'm gonna read Prophecy of December, Biden's little boy. King Von, read the transcripts, and then now you gotta figure out what do you mean read transcripts. Giovanni, Jeanette, the nuclear donut, I am judge, injection, bona fide, frequency band. Now you know what frequency band means. Safe haven. Now we talk about safe houses. Luciferian presidents. You might know he might have an auntie named that. Sacred omen, the marriage of the lamb. Man, what he had on, all white. What I always say, Mary had a little lamb, but shit was white as snow. Everywhere Mary went, the shit was sure to blow. Mary had a little lamb, that sacrifice shit. This is what it say in Gematria. This is what I'm talking about now. Biden's little boy, meaning is he's a public democratic creation of the Chicago public housing and public assistance living, period. And you know what I'm saying? Well, Section 8 mothers, the father can't be there. Biden's little boy. And like I say, think about that. We'll get to part 2. And just remember, sign up for Hildex. And